here we are in Microsoft Word and we're ready to get started by editing our file. So we want to create an MLA heading, and the first thing you might notice is there are all these options at the top where you can choose various features. Tap on the Home tab. If you tap it a second time, it'll retract and you can keep going back and forth, kind of like a turtle ducking its head in and out of its shell. So let's tap on Home and change it to Times New Roman font. Tap on Calibri, which is the current font, and scroll all the way down to almost the very bottom, where we can find My Old Friend, Times New Roman. Where are you? There you are. Tap on Times New Roman. Then change the font size from 11 by tapping on 11, and let's increase it to, you guessed it, 12. Tap on 12. Now, if you start typing, the MLA heading, you put your name, let's say Katniss Everdeen, and now it's Mathis, that's fine. And then the next line is the teacher's name, right? And third, we have the course, Archery 101, and then you put the date. But this is not double spacing, which is what we need in our document. So to create double spacing, let's select everything first and then change the spacing. To select everything or select all, hold the Command button, that's CMD, on your keyboard, and while you're holding CMD, click the A letter, then you can let go of A and let go of Command last. So I've selected everything, and now I'm going to tap on the Format tab. The Format button, rather, not tab, but the Format button is on the far right, almost at the end, under the Home tab. Next, we tap on Line Spacing. For single space, it's 1.0. 1.5 spacing is 1.5, but we want double spacing 2.0, so tap 2.0. Next, we can add a title. The Fundamentals of Archery. This is kind of, and we probably should be capitalizing as well as we go along. But we want this to be centered in the middle of the page. So let me tap on the Format button again, and then I'll choose Center. I tap back into the document to make that drop-down menu go away. Okay, I click Enter on my keyboard, and then if I want to go back to the left, I could tap the Format button and choose Left, or instead, here's a shortcut, hit Backspace on your keyboard, and now you're at the left edge of the page. In the body, here is where we type the actual report or paper or whatever we might be doing. There is one feature I want to show. I want to show you how to do bullets. So if you tap this bullet icon here, you can choose which bullet tool you'd like to use. I'll choose the dot here, and I can add an item. Here's item 1 in my bulleted list. If I hit Enter on my keyboard, it goes to the next bullet, item 2, item 3. And once I'm finished, you can tap the bullet button again and choose None. Or instead, you can just hit Backspace on your keyboard. And then let me hit Backspace again, and one final time. Whoops, that was too many times. There we go. If you want to create a sub-bullet, let's go to item 2 and hit Enter. Next, on my keyboard, there's a button that says Tab. If you hit Tab, you'll go forward to indent and create a sub-bullet. If you go too far, like I've done, hold Shift on your keyboard, and while you're holding the Shift button, click the Tab button. So I'm holding Shift, clicking Tab, and I can go back. Sub item 1, sub item 2. Too bad I'm not creative enough to come up with something funny to put here. Okay, we're finished with the bullets. Have I done everything properly according to MLA? No, I don't have a header. Now, you might say, well, Mr. McGeaney, isn't this the header, this up here? Well, technically, this is called the heading. This is all the heading, perhaps, the MLA heading. And the header is where we put our page numbers. So tap the Insert tab right here. And then under the Insert tab on the far right, there's this page number icon. Tap that. Next, we're going to choose top right. if we tap away back into the document, now we can see our page numbers. So if you tap down below, this is the body, and if you double tap above where the page number is, that's the header part of your page. Let me type my name. Oh, I guess it's Everdeen, isn't it? How silly of me to forget my name. But I need my name to be over on the right near the page number. So let me go back to the Home tab up above. From Insert, I've changed now to Home. Then I tap the Format button on the far right, and I choose Right. I tap away anywhere in my document to make that drop-down disappear. Now, once again, we have to change the font. Kind of annoying that they don't pick up the Times New Roman, isn't it? Well, here's what we can do. If you try to click and select, you might run into issues, and maybe you cannot change the page number font. So check out this trick that I've got. Hold Command on your keyboard, the Command button, and tap A. Then you can let go of Command. Now, you've noticed it highlights everything, including that page number. Let me tap on the font, Calibri, and I'm going to choose Times New Roman again. Then I'll tap on the 11 to change the font size to 12. If I add a new page or scroll down, how do I add a new page? Well, you could hit Enter a bunch of times until you're down at the next page, or check out this. Tap the Insert tab above. Then tap the Page button on the far left. Again, I'm in the Insert tab, and I'm tapping Page. And it adds a new page. And check it out, Everdeen 2. It updated the header. And if I add another page, Everdeen 3. So this is how headers work. Anything you type into the header appears on every page. Okay, we've got our MLA formatting, we've added a header, we've got our page numbers. What more is there? Well, let me show you some draw tools. Or before I do, I want to show some more formatting tools. Sometimes for maybe a math class or a science class, you'll have to have subscripts. So for example, or superscripts. So maybe you want to type out x squared equals 4. Let me make this a lowercase x. If you tap left and right on your keyboard, I'm tapping the left and right arrows on my keyboard, I can scroll between the text, and while I'm tapping left, right, check this out. Hold Shift, and now you're highlighting. So this is a great way to highlight inside of a document. Hold Shift and tap left or right as many times as you need. Now, use your left-right arrows to hold, and then hold Shift and highlight the 2. If we want to make this superscript, that means make it higher up, tap under the Home tab, tap the A with 3 dots. Then choose Superscript, and it's A squared. Let me tap that same A with 3 dots again, and choose Subscript. Now it's like a x2, x1, x2, maybe there's a bunch of x's, and you're looking at the second one. So let me tap this, however, and make it superscript for now. Perhaps you want to make the X italics. Using the left-right arrows on your keyboard, go right beside the X, hold Shift, and then I tap the right button on my keyboard, and I tap the I up here for italics. You can also hold Command on your keyboard and tap the I letter on your keyboard. I'm not touching my screen here, my iPad screen. I'm simply holding Command on my keyboard and tapping I. You can also make some font bold if you wish, and underlined. The final thing we're going to see is how to add inking tools. So first, let me just point out, there's a bunch of stuff you can insert. You can insert a table, photos from your photo roll. You can take a picture with your camera right then and there. You can add shapes. There's a bunch of fun shapes to add. You can add text boxes which float above the rest of the text. But right now we're going to add some inking tools. So tap the Draw tab, then tap on one of the pens. I like this purple one. You can use your finger or a stylus to add a message. If you tap the pen tool, the same tool, a second time, formatting options show up. You can change how wide it is, and you can change the color. If you want to erase, tap the eraser on the far left. This eraser really erases an entire object at a time. as soon as I tap my finger and touch one of the things I've added, the whole object immediately disappears as soon as I touch any one part. So you can tap your finger and drag your finger around to erase everything. The final tool I want to show is this highlighter on the far right. If you tap it once, you select the highlighter. If you tap it a second time, you can change the formatting options. So you can use these tools to create files for your classes. You could even take notes in Microsoft Word since we have these fun inking tools. Notes. You can pinch with 2 fingers and zoom out or zoom in if you need to.